You're listening to episode 7 of the Fearless English podcast. Welcome to the Fearless English podcast, where it's all about helping you confidently communicate with anyone without compromising who you are. Let's get started, Fearless Learner. Welcome to this week's episode, Fearless Learner. Today, I invited my friend, Adam, to speak about movies, and I'm excited for you to listen to the episode because we speak about everything related to movies. So make sure you check the show notes because I have a list of words and phrases for you to look out for. Make sure you check and then guess the meaning from context. So try to understand it without checking the dictionary. Then once you've listened and tried to guess, I encourage you to also write down the words in your notebook. Write down what you think it means, then check the dictionary. This is a skill I want you to develop, and it's something that will help you understand from context without having to check the dictionary all the time. All right, so let's get started. Let's listen to the episode. Thank you so much for coming on today. I'm super excited to talk to you about movies.
Hi, Halima. I'm glad to be here. Thank you very much.
How you been?
Yeah, I've been okay, thanks, Halima. I've been here in the UK all year. I'm in Birmingham at the moment. Yeah, everything's been fine.
So let's get started with this, topic of movies. You picked this topic. I love
Sure.
movies, but I want to know why you picked this topic.
Well, I think it's an interesting topic to talk about. Most people do love movies. Most people watch movies. And most people like to recommend movies to their friends and tell their friends about movies they've enjoyed. And I think there's lots of interesting vocabulary based around this topic that we can talk about and discuss.
Amazing. So let's go straight into what is your favorite genre?
Okay, so that's a good question. So it just depends really on the type of film. For example, last week I went to see the new Fast and Furious film, Fast and Furious 9.
What? I
Yeah.
didn't even know there was 4 and 5 and 6.
Yeah. So this is
That's
Fast and
insane.
Furious 9. And this is like in a genre of its own, I suppose. But I guess it's an action film, right? Would you say it's an action
Yeah,
film?
definitely action. Yeah, definitely action. Um, I do enjoy action, but I have to be in the mood for action, I think. But there are periods of time where I enjoy films with fighting. There are certain movies that, like, it's like what is it called when somebody is the underdog, right? They start off as the underdog, which,
Hmm.
and then they get trained.
Do you mean like the Rocky movies?
Yeah, something like that, right? Like that's a good example of
Rocky, yeah.
yeah,
So I
exactly.
guess Rocky is kind of like a drama film with a bit of action in it too.
Hmm.
And the Karate Kid, maybe like this.
Yeah, exactly. The Karate Kid. I think there was one that's like recent with Angelina Jolie, this other guy, and they teach him like how to fight. And if I forgot the name of the movie. If I remember, I'll let you know. But
Do you know anything about the plot?
yeah, so there's this guy that basically they put like this £1 million in his bank account. He's working in a desk job, and there's like a scene where he takes the keyboard because he has £1 million in dollars in his bank account. So he hates his job because there's this manager that always comes to him and nags at him.
I know this film. I know this film you're describing.
Is
This
it
is an
one
old film.
wanted? Wanted.
Wanted, yes,
Yes.
that's right.
That is what it's called. Wanted,
Yeah.
for those of you that want to check it out. For some reason, I love that movie so much. Like I feel like it's one of the best movies ever.
Yeah, actually, this has got a bit of everything. It's got interesting characters because at the beginning, the main character, the guy, I can't remember his name in the film, but he's kind of like a shy office worker. He doesn't have a lot of belief in himself.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember the name of the characters, but the Angelina Jolie character
Yeah.
trains him to become like this super what is he, like a super hitman or something like this?
Yeah, so kind of like a hitman. A hitman is like, yeah, it was a hitman, but I think they led him to believe that it was for the greater good and he was doing good stuff. And then he realized that actually they were the bad guys he was working for. And then he ended up killing all of the bad guys at the end. But I just loved how, like, it was just amazing. And then Angelina Jolie at the end, and it ended up like, well, I don't want, spoiler alert. I don't want to tell you guys what
Sure,
happens.
but it's an interesting film.
It is, yeah.
So this is action, I guess, right? But with a bit of drama, thriller.
Yeah, but mainly I would say it was an action movie. I think it depends
So
on my mood for movies. Sometimes I like romantic comedies. Sometimes I prefer just comedy and I'm like, oh, I don't want to see any romantic stuff in there.
sure, right.
What do you think about horror as a genre?
Oh, okay, so horror is seems to be something that people love or hate.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's some good horror films, um, but I'm not really a fan of these kind of gory horror films. Do you
Hmm.
know films like Saw,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
where
yeah.
it's too graphic, it's too much for me.
Yeah.
Uh, but some horror films can be interesting, um, but usually I prefer action movies.
Yeah.
What do you think of horror movies, Halima? Is that a genre you like?
I don't really. I growing up, I thought that I did, but I realized that no, I really don't. I have to turn off the sound effect and
Sure,
like
yeah,
so I get rid of the sound and it's not as scary without the sound. It's just a bunch of
yeah,
people doing weird
yeah.
things. But just the creepy music, like it really does scare me and I don't like that feeling, especially when somebody gets possessed. That oh,
Oh,
it's so
yeah, that's
scary.
really scary. I feel the same way. If I watch a film like that where, someone's trying to
Climb the walls like upside
climb
down.
the
Yeah.
walls upside down, exactly, yeah, this really scares me.
Yeah.
What do you remember what the last film was you saw? Have you
The
seen any films at
last
the cinema recently? Because the cinema's been closed down for such a long time.
Yeah, you're right. So I mean I miss going to the movies, but I'm more of a theater fan than a
Oh, of
movie fan.
course.
But
Yeah.
because of COVID, all the theater shows that were supposed to come out, like I think on cinema, they came out on TV, like Disney Plus. So I got to watch like Hamilton, for example, on Disney Plus.
Oh,
Have you seen it?
I haven't, but I've heard people talking about it.
Mm.
What happens? Can you explain a little bit about the plot?
Well, it's a little bit different to what you would normally expect. First of all, like it's for a show, for a theater show. It's I've never seen one that focuses all on like mostly on rapping.
Okay.
So it like they rap throughout and in musically like musically it's like at a genius level where you're like how do they even do that? Like it's really crazy. Like I can show you some of the clips that like they've explained how they made it and I was just even more in awe of how they produced it. And it's set in like America. They told it in a way that I guess like the people that are a lot younger could understand what the plot was about and truly enjoy it rather than someone explaining in a really boring lesson in history class.
Wow. Okay. It sounds really. So, would you recommend it? It sounds really interesting, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. I would definitely recommend it. But if I had to choose one genre like forever, it would always be fantasy. I really do like made up stuff, like things like, magic and things that are out of this world. Like that's my favorite genre of all time. Like it just I'm fascinated by like people being able to move cups with their minds and things like that, or cast spells or go on an adventure where they see like a creature with like big wings that's not supposed to have wings, unicorn.
Sure. Yeah. Have you seen Avatar? I guess
Yes, I
that's a
have.
fantasy.
Yes,
What did
that's
you
a
think?
that's a good example of
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I love Avatar. It's one of the like my favorite movies of all
Yeah.
time.
Amazing. Amazing special effects.
And it was
Uh,
like at the very beginning of the 3D kind of like when 3D began. So I was really, really impressed. I
yeah.
remember.
Me too. I was blown away by it. And
Mhm.
they're making. They're going to release two more Avatar films.
Are they?
Yeah. I think next year. So it should be really interesting to see
Yeah,
them.
I would love to see the is it called the prequel when it's like
I think if it's set before the events of a film, then it's called a prequel.
prequel,
And
yeah.
then if it's after the events of a film, it's called a sequel.
Sequel, that's the word I'm looking for.
Fast and Furious 9, I guess it's a sequel to
Oh,
Fast and
of course.
By the way, if a part of Fast and Furious 9 is like a fantasy, you just have to see this to believe it. They drive, there's one scene in the film where they drive a car in space.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not even joking. They drive a car through space to hit a satellite to stop it from crashing, to stop a rocket from
Okay, that seems
crashing.
far-fetched.
Yeah, yeah, it's very, very far fetched. But it's good entertainment,
It definitely is. It is.
sure. So, do you have any plans to go to the cinema in the near future and watch a film?
Now you've said the cinema, I watched that movie with Joker. Is it called Joker?
Oh, yeah, right. Me too. I watched that.
Oh,
Actually, I
that is.
watched that at the cinema in Kuwait.
Oh, did
Um,
you? I bet it got cut up like
I
loads of
think it was.
scenes like
I think some
missing. I think
scenes.
you need to watch it again.
Yeah, yeah. I think some scenes were censored for sure. It was 10 minutes shorter than the UK version.
Yeah, because I remember whenever I watched movies in Saudi or in Egypt, it would always be a little bit different, and or there would
Yeah,
be a
sure.
scene where like I'm watching and I'm like, oh, this is meant to happen, and then you just go to
And
the
then it
next
goes
day.
to the next scene suddenly. And did I miss something? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly,
This
exactly.
happens. But censorship is another interesting part of watching films because films are categorized according to different ages, right? So
Mm,
you have to be 12 years and over to watch the Fast and Furious 9 film, for example.
mm.
So I guess that's another censorship is another interesting
I
topic
wonder
related to
who
films.
like it like sits down and thinks, yeah, this is a 12 movie, because when I look at the 12 movies, I'm just thinking, no,
Yeah, me
but this
too.
is so
Sometimes people, I
inappropriate.
know, sometimes you can watch a 12 movie and someone has their head chopped off or something like this, and you think, wow, okay. Yeah, I don't know who does that. That's quite an interesting question. But I guess there must be a group of people who watch a film and decide, okay, this is suitable for 12 years and
Exactly.
above.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, I would love to know more about it because I really don't agree with the grading system.
Yeah. Oh, so sorry, I interrupted what you were saying. Did you enjoy the Joker movie?
Oh, it was absolutely amazing.
It was right.
It
It
really
was.
was. It was,
Wow.
oh, it was so well done. Um,
Incredible. Acting was amazing.
and the storyline too. And the thing that I liked most about it was the fact that it showed us that everybody has a story, and sometimes you only see one side, and that side is just not enough. You have to see the full picture in order to really fully understand what that person is like. Not everybody's bad, if that makes sense. Fully
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
it does. And a lot of people um, related to this film and really enjoyed this film. It was number one for a few weeks, I think. It was a
Yeah.
very popular film.
It was certainly a movie that, like, that I can give probably 5 stars. If you haven't
Five, yeah,
watched it,
me
you should
too.
go ahead. And what is it called? Is it called Joker
It's
or?
called Joker. Yeah, it's called
Okay,
Joker.
okay.
I can't.
This
I
is.
never know how to pronounce the actor's name who plays
Mm,
Joker. Is it Joaquin Phoenix? Is this his name?
I have no idea, but
Oh,
I know him. I've watched other movies that he's starred in, but I don't really know how to. I don't usually remember names. Like, if you had to, like, pick your favorite actor of all time, who would it
oh,
be?
this is a good question. Wow. So, wow, what a question. I really need to think about this. I'm gonna say Robert as an actor. I'm probably gonna go for Robert De Niro just
Hmm.
because he's made so many classic films like Godfather, Goodfellas, Heat. He's actually in Joker too. He plays the chat show host.
Oh yeah, he gets. Yeah, I don't want to spoil.
Yeah, no spoilers there.
No
But
spoilers.
what about you, Halima? Who's your favorite actor or
I've
actress?
got quite a few, and it's like it depends on who I remember. And right now, I remember Denzel Washington.
Oh, what a great actor! Actually,
He
he could be
really.
there. Yeah,
He's a like. What did you say?
I said he could be up there. He could be up there
Yeah,
instead of
yeah,
Robert De Niro. I could have said
yeah. Because every single movie I watch, he just blows me away. He really does.
that's true. He's probably actually overall a better actor than Robert De Niro because every movie he makes, he's fantastic.
Oh yeah, like I don't even have to, like, check the trailer, or if it's people liked it or not, because I know it's going to be amazing.
Exactly. He never gives a bad performance.
He really doesn't.
Always.
I think he picks the the movies well, so he chooses the ones that he thinks probably these. I mean, he gets to choose, right? Because he's amazing. But
True.
even the old ones I've watched, I
Yeah,
he's just amazing still, so.
he's great. Do you have a favorite Denzel Washington film?
Oh God. Could you give me a few that he starred in?
Sure.
You say starred in?
Yeah, because he's usually the star of everything
Yeah.
he's in, right? He's usually the lead actor. You can also say, I guess he's been in. He was in Equalizer. Have you seen Equalizer? Training Day.
Yeah, Training Day was amazing.
Training Day was a great performance from him. He's
There
been in
was
Fences.
there was a movie that I watched recently. I'm trying to see which one it is, but I would love to recommend it to other people. But it's like a new one that he played with
Angelina Jolie.
not Angelina Jolie, another actress, I forgot her name now.
Viola Davis.
Viola Davis. She's my other, like, amazing love.
She's fantastic. She's also really good. Yeah, this movie's called Fences. Fences,
Fences.
where they play a married couple.
So my other ultimate, like, favorite actress. I think that now there's no
There's
gender,
no gender
right?
distinction. But you know, the Oscars, they still have a category for Best Actor and Best Actress.
Yeah.
I
So
think they
then,
should just not separate it, and they should
um,
just. What
that's
do
an
you think?
interesting, actually, topic, because well, we call both actor, right?
Yeah,
So,
right.
um,
Viola
like,
Davis is an actor,
but
and
then
Denzel
why do
Washington.
you think they categorize it in the first place? Like, why is it that the males and the females are like put into two different categories in the first place?
Yeah, I've often thought about that. I think maybe, in the Hollywood of the past, they thought that was a necessary thing to choose
Mm.
to distinguish between the male and the female performances.
Hmm.
But now I think they need to, move forward and look at the two sides equally.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree with you. Because we're just looking at the acting abilities, then,
Exactly. It
and
shouldn't
that
make
goes
it.
for anything else, right? Like race, ethnicity, gender, everything under one kind of roof, so that we're not.
Saying them, what were we saying? Oh yeah. So the categories they should change it, and as you said, it should be equal for everybody now, because acting, they're just saying whose acting is the best.
Yeah,
It's not like a sporting event, um,
where the abilities are.
where their abilities may be different for different events,
Yeah.
perhaps. So yeah, something they should look at perhaps, and move forward.
So, like, let me talk about the cinemas. Going back to the cinemas, what kind of snacks do you buy when you
Oh,
go
what a
and
great
watch?
question! Yeah. So this is something that's really I've got mixed feelings about, because when you go to the cinema, I find it interesting that they sell the noisiest snacks that people can eat, right? They
Yeah,
sell nachos, crisps, popcorn. They sell like the noisiest things, and they sell very big buckets of popcorn and
yeah,
big plates of nachos. And even though it's really nice to eat something while you're watching a film, if you're sitting on a row with maybe 10 people all eating nachos, it well, for me, maybe it's just a personal thing, but it distracts me from watching the film if I can
mm.
hear five different people munching away on nachos and popcorn. And maybe this is just a personal thing, but for me, I like nachos with like a bit of a spicy sauce and
Mm.
jalapenos.
Yeah. For me, I'm a popcorn girl all the way.
Oh,
Like,
really?
I love popcorn so much. But I understand what you mean about like the crunchy sounds.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't. It's just odd, isn't it? Because people, it just makes so much, not so much noise, but it makes noise while you're trying to watch the film. Because if you went to the theater, for example, you wouldn't start eating nachos and popcorn, while the
Yeah.
actors are performing on stage.
Well, that's the thing. Like when I went to the theater, they were like, "Oh, you can bring food from outside."
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can bring sandwiches, food, like whatever food you want. But in the cinemas, they're so strict because of
Yeah,
the overpriced snacks that they make
I
you buy.
know. I know. When I went to see Fast and Furious 9, my friends, they put food inside their jackets to sneak it into the cinema, because we bought, when we were in the cinema, we did buy some coffee and sweets between three of us, and it was maybe £15 just for a cup of coffee each and a bag of sweets.
Yeah, I believe
This,
it.
yeah, yeah.
I actually think it should be more expensive according to how like my experience with buying snacks at the cinema. It's ridiculous. You know, the other day I was it was so funny. I was looking at an article, I was reading an article, and it was talking about the differences between Americans and British like culture, and they were talking about how they didn't have butter at the cinema.
Butter.
Yeah, butter. And I was like, and I knew what they were talking about because when I was in the US, and I went to the cinema there. So you buy your popcorn, and there's actually a tap where hot butter
Oh,
comes out. You pour it over your popcorn.
really? Oh,
Yep.
oh my goodness. I don't know if, and that's what American people miss if they come to the cinema
I guess if you're
in the
used to
UK.
that, you know,
I
it's like
guess so.
it's
Yeah,
something that, yeah.
pouring
But
butter. Oh, see, for us, it probably doesn't sound very well. For me, it doesn't sound very
appetite.
appetizing. Okay,
Okay,
so
so last question,
yeah,
right?
sure, go ahead.
If someone made a movie about your life, what kind of
Yeah.
movie would it be? Your facial reaction.
Boring, very boring. Not much going on.
So it
I
wouldn't
think
be an
people would.
action movie, yeah?
It wouldn't be an action movie. I think people would get bored very quickly and probably leave the cinema after about 10 minutes.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible, Adam. So
I
you wouldn't
mean,
have a car going into space trying to hit like a what's it called? A satellite. No.
yeah, I mean, I would love to, but it would probably be more like me driving down to the shops and doing the shopping at Tesco's and coming back again and unpacking the shopping. So yeah, quite boring, unfortunately.
Hmm. Yeah.
What about you, Halima? What genre of movie would best describe
I probably think
your lifestyle?
drama.
A drama,
Drama.
yeah, a big drama.
Just because of my family members. Like the other day I went to my friend's house and she was like, "Why are you screaming?" So like I was just talking to the baby and I was talking to the baby in such a like a loud voice. She was like, You're very loud." I was like, "Yeah, in my house, if you don't speak really loudly, nobody listens to you, so it's always shouting in my house and this is happening and that is happening." So probably yeah,
A big drama. So mine would probably be a boring documentary, and yours could be a big drama. Who would you who do you think could play you in in
Oh,
in
that's
your in your in
I would
your
want
life?
Viola Davis to
Viola
play
Davis.
me.
Oh, okay, well I want Denzel Washington to play me. Oh, I would love that. He could make my life story seem more interesting just because he's such a great actor.
Yeah, he really is. He really is amazing. Um, but yeah, so we're gonna end it there. But before we go, I'm gonna ask you a few questions um that I ask everybody at the end of each
Oh,
podcast. So the first question is, what is your favorite English word?
this is oh wow. So actually, I haven't thought about these questions at all. Um, so I'm going to say silk. This is just because
Okay.
I'm wearing a silk shirt today. I don't know
Okay.
if you'll be able to see this.
Yeah, I
Uh,
do.
yeah, but
Midnight
unfortunately, I've
blue.
just ripped it. I've just ripped it before this before this podcast started. I don't know if you can see that. I ripped this on the
Yeah, I
shoulder, but
can see that.
so that's just really the word that's in my mind at the moment. But when I think of silk, I think of comfort and kind of a cool summer evening.
Nice, nice. So let's move on to the next one. Are you currently learning any languages?
Oh, so no, I'm not. But I have been in the past. I've learned a bit of Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I tried to learn a bit of Arabic, but I didn't get very far with it. But at the moment, no. Actually, I'm not. Even though I teach English as a language, I'm not myself a very good language learner.
So, and then the last one is one message you want to share with the students.
Oh, just keep going, I would say, is my message. Learning a language, even though I've just said I'm not very good at learning languages, but learning languages is an ongoing process. You can never stop learning, and there's always some interesting thing to learn, or there's always a different way to learn, and there's always some way of improving your language or improving your skills in that language. So if I was to give any advice, I would just say keep going. Try something
Amazing.
every day and keep going. Yeah.
Thank you, Adam. So we're going to end the podcast there. Thank you, listeners, for listening to this podcast. And I hope that you've enjoyed listening to Adam. And thank you, Adam, for being here and talking to us about movies, which was really fun.
Yeah, it was great. Thanks for inviting me, Halima. Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye. I'm waving bye bye. Bye.
If you enjoyed today's lesson, then you'll love our speaking club, where we take what we learn in these lessons and put it into action. You'll get to meet other women and practice speaking English every week for an hour. All you have to do is go to www.blackboardenglish.com/cup. I'll say that again, www.blackboardenglish.com/cup. Let's work together to help you become a confident English speaker. See you in class.